Performance of some of our younger players. The first half was very scrappy. Obviously, ball control from both sides was poor, and improved a little bit in the second half. And we're obviously a bit disappointed in that. And I imagine the Broncos are too. So, but certainly the performance of some of our younger guys. I thought Kevin Proctor was outstanding. I thought Scott Anderson done well. Aidan Tolman, and I thought young Tremaine and Willie Ozzie done a good job too. And probably most pleasing of all was Willie Chambers. I thought he was excellent. He hasn't played for, I don't know, like 9-10 months. So I thought his game tonight was tremendous. I reckon there's probably 3 or 4 there, Carl, in the 17. So we'll have a good look at the tape tomorrow and make some decisions. But certainly a couple of those young blokes are really putting some pressure on a couple of our established players, I think. And well, we've got a few younger players and new players in the club, but might be time to make a couple of changes. I think so. Yeah, Carl. Again, it's as I said, everyone knows we've had a pretty big turnover of players, and we've lost some really good players in Israel. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about that, and Crocker and Jeremy Smith and Antonio Kafusi and lost Matt Guy, who played a lot of positions for us. So there's a big turnover of players, and they're young players or players from other clubs that really haven't established themselves. So. Like I say, I'm really happy with the way they performed tonight. The guys that got their chance there tonight, and they certainly put their case forward. And like I say, there'll probably be a few new faces in our team next week that we probably didn't expect 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, again, like obviously Hinchy plays dummy up, and I think he could sort of go and do a role in the back row for us too. He's a good defender. He's a tough kid, so he done some really good things out there tonight. And obviously, Waireng is a very experienced player. He held his own there when he went on for Seeker in that first half, and we had a bit of an experiment and played him in the centres there. The last 20 minutes. Not quite sure that's his position, but again, he's been tremendous at the club. He's trained really hard, and he certainly won't be out of place if he finds himself in the 17 next week. We'll train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm going to give the guys 3 days off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we'll start again next Sunday after a couple of 3 days off, and then have our normal build up to the game. We've got a Friday night game against St George, so I think the players have deserved that 3 days off. We usually sort of give them the weekend off, but we've got a club function on Saturday night, so we'll give them a bit of time off before, and then we'll get back into it on the Sunday and start preparing for St George. Again, there was a lot of penalties early, and again, from my vantage point, I'm not quite sure what some of them were for. So I just need to have a look at the video, and it certainly there was a lot of penalties, and then they died off again, in the second half, which was basically the same sort of pattern we had last week against Newcastle. So I'm not quite sure whether the teams are pulling their heads in the second half and behaving themselves, or whether they think there is too many penalties going on. I'm not quite sure, but. Like I say, we can only control what we can control, and that's ourselves. That's all we're worried about. Again, I'm not quite sure where some of the penalties are coming from, and out there of which referee. Obviously, there's a main referee who's usually the experienced guy. Perhaps the younger guys, and they're just like players. You get a young guy that's in your team. He wants to stamp his authority when he gets out there. So perhaps that younger referee might be doing the same. I'm not quite sure, but certainly, again, I think it's well worth going through with. Again, it's proven that the one referee is his heart rate gets up, and again, they're like players. They make errors when they're under fatigue. So having the 2 referees out there obviously oozes the workload, and. If we're getting the decisions right, well, that's all that matters. No, well, again, we don't, and we don't want to sort of turn into a game of rugby union where there's a whole lot more penalties. And the great beauty about our game is how it rolls on. It's not a stop-start game. It's I think people like to see a quick game and a game that keeps going. So, but at the same time, if the sides are breaking the rules, well, they need to be penalised. So it's a fine line. Certainly not being critical of the referees here. If we're breaking the rules and other teams are breaking the rules, well, they'll be penalised. So, but like I say, it's ideal if the penalties are low. So the game just rolls on, and we've got that flow that our game is a great game to watch when that happens.
Correct.
Smith got a cork. I'm not quite sure the incident where he got it from, but so we're a bit worried about him at half time, and I don't think it's too serious, but you know, the doctors didn't want to send me back the second half, so it's too valuable to be taking any chances. And as I said, young Hinchcliffe done a good job for us, so he should be right for the first round. Though.
Is there any other blokes just waiting up for round one?
No, we basically had all of our, you know, our 17 will come out of the players that play tonight, but there's no one else.
Anthony Quinn, what's wrong with him?
Oh, actually, sorry, yeah, he actually come up in all expectations to play, and he pulled up yesterday at train with a sore hip flexor, so you know, Quinn is a bit of a walking wounded at the moment, so yeah, but hopefully we'll have him back in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, so you got me there actually. He's, but we did expect him to play. He's up here, so but hopefully he'll be right for round one.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
We're back in a minute.
30 seconds.